Welcome back to my film and TV channel. We're going to have a look at something called 13 Lives today. Yeah, 12A certificate, 147 minutes and nearly 2.5 hours. Yeah, it was okay. It didn't feel overly long. We're going to talk a biographical survival film. There we go, directed and produced by no less than Ron Howard, from a screenplay written by William Nicholson. And this film stars Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, Joel Edgerton and Tom Bateman, and an array of young Thai actors as well. I assume the Thai actors, that's where it's all based, of course. And it was released in select cinemas on July the 29th, for not very long. It began streaming on Prime Video, where I watched it on August the 5th, 2022, and all these scores and comments. And as at August the 6th, 9 a.m. in the morning here in the UK. Rotten Tomato audience, yeah, the audience, Joe Public, like it, 95% positivity, we'll take that. Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, the overall average score, 7.8 out of 10, not too shabby. And 1,753 people scored between 6 and 9. I've ignored the 10 out of 10s and 1 out of 10s. And 61, just 61 scored between 2 and 5. So a 97% positivity. So there you go, 97, 95%. We can't really complain too much, can we? Right, well, I might have a go, but we'll see. The film chronicles, of course, the events of 2018. Tham Luang Cave rescue that saw a junior football team, a couple of United shirts there, so it almost put me off watching it when I started, but I thought I better don't be churlish, bird, just get it watched. And their coach trapped in a cave for a period of 18 days. As long as they all got out alive, we can have a bit of fun, can't we? And they did, so, well, apart from a couple of the rescuers, of course, but that's another matter. The critics, what did the critics think? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, the audience loved it. What about the critics? Well, they're quite happy. 7.2 out of 10 with an 89% positivity, 97 reviews, 86 fresh and 11 rotten. So, fair enough. And the consensus of the website, steadily helmed by director Ron Howard, 13 Lives offers an incomplete but still gripping dramatisation of an incredible true story. Incomplete, well, it showed him getting stuck, it showed him getting out. that's it. On Metacritic, the film's got an average of 66 out of 100, so not quite as high, based on 35 critics, 23 positive, 12 mixed, and 0 negative, and it scored anywhere between 58 and 90. So we have a look at Rotten Tomatoes critics and Metacritic critics. There's a bit of a crossover, so we'll go through these. Donald Clark, he was on Rotten Tomatoes. He gave this 4 out of 5. He's from the Irish Times. He said, a properly entertaining drama that gets across the technical details with great efficiency. A good job of work by a reliable Hollywood professional. Yes, Donald. No bells, no whistles with this one. Just straightforward A to Z storytelling, or A to Z if you're outside of the UK. Rex Reed from The Observer on Rotten Tomatoes, he liked it as well, 3.5 out of 5 he gave it. He said, as scripted documentary-style fact-based dramas go, it doesn't get much better than this. Possibly does, but an incredibly efficient storytelling film, in my opinion, without, as I said, no bells and whistles. Mark Kennedy, though, from Associated Press, he wasn't overly impressed with it. Yeah, he gave it 2 out of 4, so only about 50%. He said, there are pockets of diffusive heroes everywhere, and that means a lack of tautness or through line. Neither the divers nor kids, government officials, nor families and volunteers really come into focus, staying as murky as the miles of submerged cave. Interesting from Mark. I mean, there's a lot of truth to what he said there, although I didn't particularly care overall for any of the players, as in the actors, not the players as in football players. It sort of did have an emotional impact, but not on a personal basis, which is very odd in this type of film. I like to invest, if you do watch any of my vlogs, I like to invest in characters, and I struggled to invest in any of the characters, not just because he had a United shirt on, that's by the by, I'm talking about the rescuers as well. So, as I say, they all come out, I can have a bit of fun. They all survive, the young kids, even the ones with United shirts on. And the poor buggers, when they got out, they were invited to watch United as though they hadn't been punished enough. I mean, that was even worse, wasn't it, for him? But hey, there you go. Hollywood Reporter's Lovia Giacchi gave it 60 out of 100 on Metacritic and said, it's a restrained rendering of the events, a drama that plays at times like a documentary. It does. But if Howard's decision to spotlight the Thai characters in this harrowing narrative is a sound one, there's an unfamiliar stiffness and self-consciousness in the director's approach. Again, I have to agree. An ability to manage the fast-paced, no-nonsense heroics that are his strong suit with more emotionally textured story selling. The result, awkwardness, prevents the movie, for all the surreal tension and bravery it depicts, from feeling urgent or surprising. I would say, yeah, Lovia, you've echoed everything I thought. I couldn't have put it better myself, so I'll leave it at that. Consequence, website 75 out of 100. The film is a welcome return to form for Howard, containing all the makers of a competently crafted, crowd-pleasing drama. And I think the word competent is correct. I think competent is fine. I think that's what we call this. So my little summing up based on that, you get the view of what I'm thinking. This is an adequate film for me when compared perhaps to the depth and emotion of some of Howard's other similar style dramas. It is a bit lacking. You say it does lack that personal touch, that personal empathy, etc. I mean, it works just about, but it does lack something on that personal, emotional, empathic side, or personal, emotional side. We know very little about any of the characters. We don't get to know them. We don't get any real backstories. Young or old, from the guys stuck down the poor caves, or the poor guys trying to rescue him. So yeah, we don't really get to know the characters. So personally, I didn't really invest in any of it. I invested in the program and the hope that they got rescued, but I didn't really invest in the actual characters themselves. I mean, the less experienced, which there are plenty, and more experienced actors, which there are plenty, I've named them there, answer, and their characters are all just a little bit one-dimensional for me, and it's a story that interests and not the heroics or the bravery that was no doubt clearly evident in this story, but it never quite came across to me. I mean, we can put two and two together and make four and know how brave these guys are and how brave the poor lads stuck there. There's a lot of bravery going on, and the poor buggers who didn't make it out alive. But yeah, it's just lacking. It is lacking in something. It's competent, as I said. We've used the word before. It's competent, this film, but with no real thrills. And as 2.5 hours was fine. I did watch this on Amazon. I couldn't get because it's done in both Thai and English, a mix. Obviously, it's subtitles, and obviously you couldn't get the Thai dubbed into English on its own unless it was audio descriptive. So that was a bit of a pain. But as I say, I didn't want to sit and read subtitles, so that's what I did. But check what you get on Amazon. And it might just be my sister. I've got a Fire Stick and it's a bit out of date, so I might not be able to pick it up. I didn't check on my main smart TV, so it might have just been that. So that was a bit of a disappointment. But overall, as I said, the film itself competent, but from Mr. Howard, not one of his deepest, cleverest, emotional sort of tugging at the heartstrings films that we've seen from him over the years. But competent, no frills. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, which is my basic watchable score. I'm not going to go mad out of this, and I'm positive. I'm positive on it. Yes, that's a positive rating. Let me know what you think, guys. I know if you get to watch this. Thanks for watching. Please, until we meet again. I'll ask one thing though: don't go running down caves when it's raining. That's for sure. Just stay out of those caves. If you live up Mucky Hole, down Mucky Hole, or Blue John Mines, anywhere like that. Don't be doing anything silly. So please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.